There are two more axes of resistance members that we need to discuss. First of them are the Syrians, the remnants of the pro-Assad elements essentially that remain in Syria after the ascent of al-Julani as the leader. And the second entity can be broadly classified as the Palestinian resistance, led by Hamas, which carries the larger chunk, but other important entities such as the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, so that the TFLP, so that the PLFP, and the Mujahideen brigades, and some other entities like that. Do you understand? Now, as for the Syrians, they are not doing exactly much at this time because they are relatively weak. Al-Julani has taken power in Syria. He has attenuated them largely, exterminated them largely, and they can't really do much at this time. So a lot of pincer attacks here and there, sending a few, don't say here and there, to Syrian and American installations within Syria and all. But they really are not making much difference at this time because they are currently one of the veritable members of the axis of resistance, sure, but not very, very strong at this time. Different circumstances, different countries, and different ecosystems. As for the Palestinian resistance, that is clearly the weakest entity at this time within the axis of resistance. But don't forget that all of this fighting, all of this war started because of Palestinian resistance. It all started with Al-Aqsa flood on October 7, 2023. That is almost 3 years ago. It was after, you know, Israel counterattacks, the Gazans, Hamas, and other fighting entities in Gaza, and felt that they had weakened them. Again, not obliterated, not exterminated, but weakened. They went on to Hezbollah. They took them down. They felt they had weakened them. They cannot come back up again. All they need to continue to do is what they call mowing the lawn, killing them, strafing them from time to time, keeping the dead numbers higher and higher and higher, so that they can rise back again to fight them as a veritable and a powerful fighting entity. And then they went on to the Houthis. They also felt that they had weakened them. You understand? And then they said they wanted to go for the so-called head of the snake, the proverbial head of the snake, which is Iran. They attacked Iran, then everything went awry. And then not only did Iran push back at them massively, absolutely unexpected, but all the so-called weakened axis of resistance, members like Hezbollah, like the Houthis, started so to say, they started so to say coming back from the dead and started performing military wonders against the Israelis. So that is the current state of the Palestinians, particularly in Gaza and the West Bank. They are looking for loopholes. They are looking for opportunities. They are hoping and praying that the combination of Iran and the Iraqi PMF guys and the Houthis of Yemen and the Hezbollah in Lebanon will actually be able to do more and more military damage to the military ecosystem of Iran, and also massive damage to the psychology, as in to the psychology and morale of Israeli citizens, so that they feel, so that hopefully they wish, that Israel will working further and further to the point where they understand fighting forces such as Hamas, the PIG, and other Palestinian resistance entities can actually rise up, contribute to the fighting, and again in the process liberate Palestine, from the hands of the Israelis. So essentially, this is basic military strategy here. Again, remember that the reason why Israel and America were able to individually weaken each of these axis of resistance members was that America found a way to help Israel to ensure that Israel only had to fight each of them one after the other, separate from one another. When Israel and America fought Hamas, Gaza, and the other Palestinian resistance entity, they fought them alone. When they were fighting Hezbollah, they fought Hezbollah alone, not simultaneously, without Hezbollah and Hamas being able to assist each other massively, so to say. When they went for the Houthis, they again isolated the war theater. They were fighting the Houthis separately. But when they went for Iran, Iran is the biggest, the most powerful, the leader, and the only state entity within the axis of resistance. Immediately they went for Iran. What happened? Other axis of resistance members, some of them weakened and attenuated, now started firing at American Israeli, Gulf, and allied Israel and the allied entities simultaneously. And that absolutely changed the futures and fixtures of the war. This time around, they now started fighting in a congruent, united, aggregated, and pincer strategy, sandwich from multiple directions, with Israel, America, their Gulf allies, and their other allies in the middle. And that essentially changed completely how the war was supposed to look like, how things were supposed to have feared for the Israelis and the Americans, as against how things used to fear for them. In my opinion, as a military analyst, as a war analyst, that is what I believe made the difference. The axis of resistance is now fighting together, strategizing together, firing missiles and drones together, even coordinating the economic warfare. Look at Iran holding the Strait of Hormuz 20%. Look at the Houthis holding the Bab el Mandeb Strait 12%. 32% will always trump 20%. 32% will always do more damage in terms of economic warfare to the enemy compared to 20%. That, if you ask me, is the benefit of unity in military strategy, the benefit of working together as components of the same aggregated, united, and focused entity. And that is exactly how they made the difference. This will be the end of the series, for these particular discussions. When it comes to the members of the Axis of Resistance, what each of them brought to the table, how they fared, their relative strengths and weaknesses, and their prospects as we proceed into this battle, particularly the battle for the Strait of Hormuz that we are expecting that the Americans will launch anytime from now. In the next series, we are going to be discussing what we call in military lingo area denial. Area denial as against another AD. It is AD, area denial, as against another AD that is called air defense, area denial. Don't forget to join us when we start a particular series. Thank you very much for joining us. Remember to like, to follow, to share, to comment, to broadcast, to subscribe and to ask your questions. And I will gladly answer them in the comment section. Thank you very much. See you in the next video and the next series. Thank you.